What would you say to those who say that being a student government insider for so long, as both of you are, gives you a slanted view on campus life and on how Binghamton University, how the students at Binghamton University act and what the students at Binghamton University need and want? And let's start with Boris.
Are you saying that we won't know exactly how to help students?
I'm saying, what would you say to the people who say that being in student government for so long gives you a slanted view on campus life and a slanted view on student groups?
I disagree. I actually have a lot of friends in different circles, people who are very involved in the essay, of course, and people who don't really want anything to do with the essay. And I get opinions from both of them. I get some new ideas every time I talk to them. And yeah, I mean, while I am involved in the essay, I think that I have different perspectives, and I can see the different issues from different points of views.
Okay.
Thank you. Teresa?
I guess I'm not necessarily an essay insider, you would say. I am familiar with a lot of the essay policies, rules, and regulations, but I've really been in a community. And the community experience has definitely given me perspective on what students want and what they don't want, and I've seen what kind of programs work and what don't. I've also served, like I said, in the student group, so I've been able to see what it's like to be in a student group, so I don't have, I guess, a slanted perspective in that way. And I'm always open to suggestions, and especially my experience this year in community government, I found that things just don't work, and if they don't work, I definitely am open to change, whether it's, next year union renovations or the way a policy is. I definitely think I'm open for change, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Programming space is being taken away from the student groups in the next year for renovations. How do you plan to help address the obvious problems this brings up? We'll give you 2 minutes, and we'll start with you, Teresa.
Okay. I definitely know that there is a comprehensive strategy in the works. Next year, I really don't think we're going to know exactly what's going on until we're actually in it. So not only am I going to work with the strategy that's in the works, I definitely want to come up with a comprehensive strategy of my own. And if we realize things don't work, whether it's through polling students, taking, forums or things like that, if we realize things don't work, to change them. I definitely think that we should try to keep as many activities on campus as possible. We have a lot of resources at our disposal, whether it's in resident communities or residence halls or lecture halls. There's a lot of space we can use on campus first, so I definitely think we should stick to what we can do here, and then if necessary, and we have to move off campus, I don't think that student groups should be responsible for any costs that come up with that. So I definitely think that I will work tirelessly to go and make a strategy of my own, but also get input from students and student groups.
Thank you. Boris?
Yeah, there are some spaces on campus, but I don't believe that there are spaces large enough to replace the Mandela Room and Old Union Hall that aren't already being utilized. So that's why I chose to concentrate on off-campus. I'm not saying that I will disregard completely on-campus spaces. I'm actually working on a resolution in the Assembly to get ResLife to cooperate with us and open residential areas to us, to student groups, to hold events in. And what I also want to do mainly is I co-authored the resolution in the Assembly to get $25,000 about in a new account from retained earnings, and student groups will be able to come to the Financial Council and ask for money for that money that's in that account, and rent spaces off campus, as well as pay for OCCT buses to run from campus to off campus to the location of the event throughout the duration of the event.
All right, thank you. Teresa, would you like a 30-second response?
No. Right. I guess with my piece.
Okay. Next. How do you plan to improve cooperation with the SAE board, both internally inside the SAE board and outside with outside groups and outside student councils and student groups, with the board as a whole? And let's start with Teresa.
Okay, I definitely think that we should work on availability. I know that Matt Landau suggested, I know part of his platform is to have executive board members actually go into communities and sit in the dining halls and really have our face out there. There's no reason to why we shouldn't. I mean, we're here for the students. The essay is about the students. So I definitely think that availability is a big factor. In addition, internally, I've worked on executive boards before, and I've seen how it works. So I definitely think that I will offer my input and offer suggestions, but also be able to work with other executive board members. And really, next year, I think, especially with the union renovations, there's going to be a lot of coordination that's going to be necessary, whether it's co-sponsoring programs or working with the financial to really figure out what's most fiscally possible, I guess you can say. So I definitely think that coordination, but also availability, just getting our face out there and making sure students understand we're here for them and not just for us.
Right.
Thank you.
Boris?
Well, internally, what I would do is, for EVP especially, is have the executive vice president and the financial vice president come together and actually discuss what their offices are doing, because both positions deal a lot with student groups, mainly with student groups. So instead of having student groups come in and talk and deal with the FVP and then deal with the EVP, I would like to actually have them deal with the SA as a whole. I'm not saying that the EVP should be doing the FVP's job and vice versa. What I'm saying is that, maybe we can, unify some of the forms, combine some of the forms that we require student groups to fill up, or, just so we know what the other person is doing, so that, again, they can deal with the SA as a whole. Another thing I was thinking, and I mentioned that earlier, was, again, to require SAE board members to show up to student group council meetings and give a report. That's the way we can improve communications, and in a very good way, between the SA and the student groups.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll start with you, Boris. Why should someone vote for you over Teresa, and then when we get to Teresa, why should someone vote for Teresa over Boris?
Well, Teresa has a lot of experience in community governments, and I respect that a lot. I have relevant experience. I've worked with the SA a lot. I work with the executive vice president very closely this year. I talk to student groups constantly, whether it's charter a new group, change the name, which I've had a bunch of times this year, change something in their constitution, or just general questions about how to advertise better, or a lot of groups don't actually know how to use Beeline. I mean, not a lot, but some of the smaller ones especially. Beeline, advertising pipe dream, and other campus media, stuff like that. So like I said, I am very experienced. I know how the process works, especially student group council and the assembly. This is my third year on the assembly, like I mentioned before, and I am involved in the student group council this year. And I work very closely with Joe Danko. I know exactly what the position entails.
Okay, thank you. Teresa?
I definitely think that my perspective, being a community council president, is definitely important, but I think that I'm just a new perspective in general. I mean, I do know a lot about the SA, but there's always more to learn. I think my enthusiasm, my approachability, my availability is something that's key for executive vice president. Student groups should be comfortable to look for the EVP for guidance. They should be not only a resource, but a friendly face, and I think I do offer that. You can't necessarily learn how to be approachable or learn how to be enthusiastic, but you can learn exactly what the position entails. So like I said, I think my personality traits and my experience with community government and administration both together will definitely